Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis of uranium. Maybe I'll dive in a little bit deeper on Camco. I'm going to show you a little bit of something that I've been noticing. I just wanted to look back at the other previous bull market and do some comparisons to today. And we'll dive right in here. I'll give you my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice or anything like that. So here we go. This is the uranium futures contract. And again, we are down just a teeny bit. And the futures contracts are looking good from a weekly perspective. This is the dailies you can't really see. I'm just looking at the weeklies here. It's just going sideways, small down day. And we're kind of stair-stepping higher. You can see these pads that I've created. That is a normal thing to see in a very strong bull market. So the futures market is looking very solid. The Sprott Uranium Trust is getting a little bit more selling pressure today. There's the selling pressure. We are still above the breakout. And if you notice, I always see these patterns. They are over and over and over, and sometimes they look different depending on buying and selling pressure. So for instance, you get these kind of like patterns that do this, and then sometimes they go out this way. Sometimes they come up and they come down like that. It depends what the buying pressure is and what supports it and where they're at support levels. And then usually they make larger patterns within that, where you get these kind of big patterns again, where it could make these gigantic patterns, and that pattern goes over and over and over. It's an Elliott wave type pattern that I see all the time. But right now we still have some selling pressure in the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. And I don't know if I'd jump in front of this momentum yet, if it were myself. Uranium, it looks like we're right on support. The support line that I drew connecting these guys here. We're on that support, and notice the way this thing looks. And that's like almost an ABC correction, perhaps. But again, I'm looking for buyers to step in here. We have not seen it yet. We are on support. And it depends on what you guys want to do. The more aggressive you are, I would maybe cost average in a little bit if you're aggressive. If you're conservative, wait for the turn, wait for the buyers to step in and give you more of like a positive signal here. We could bounce sideways like this, something on the lines of that, moving sideways before moving higher. Now CCJ, let's do a little bit of analysis here that I did. What I wanted to show everyone is what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out here just a little bit. I'm going to back out and I'm going to make a line apparently. Let me go back here to the other bull market, the beginning. So what I did is I drew a downtrend line and I said, okay, there's the bottom, $1.67. We broke out of it. And right when we broke out of it and did this retest, I did the move from that breakout line. So we broke out, and we had a move and a pullback. It's a very big pullback. We got all the way to 513 and pulled back to 266, almost a 50% retracement. The time frame it took to do that was 798 days, from breakout here all the way till the bottom of that move. The entire move from breakout to the top is 154%. What I'm looking at is the fractal. I'm looking to see how big this move is and then that first big pullback. Now, if we look at where we are today, and I'm just playing with numbers here, this thing's like going all over. It's getting confused. My mouse. This is from that breakout of the downtrend line. So we broke out of that downtrend line. We have a 242% move from breakout to the top. So that's from the bottom of this this guy here all the way to the top. And we've got 777 days in this duration into it. And I put 777, that's right where we ended today. We got a nice little wick at the bottom there. It's looking right on support. Looks pretty solid. So that's 777. And last bull market, we had a very large pullback, and this is 798 days for when it completed. If I were to bring this back to here, that's 742 days at the bottom of that one, 735. So we've got some days here in this general ballpark where we had a nice good pullback, and then look what came afterwards. Nice big move higher, and then another rocket launch higher, and another move higher. So we went from $2.66 on that bottom all the way to $40 in a period of about 4 years. About 4 years. Do I think we're kind of in this general vicinity of the bull market in 2002, 2001 timeframe? That's kind of where my head's at. I keep thinking that we're around the 01, 02 timeframe. And if you look at this and you look at the fractals that we have on this side, they're very large. The fractal is call it the genetics of the move. And the genetics of the move is quite dramatic here. And we've got this big pullback, and I know people are afraid, but if this were to repeat, if we are in a bull market, which I think we are, this would be a good buying opportunity. And the aggressive people would be sprinkling in off the support levels. The non-aggressive people would be waiting for the move to turn around. And what we have looking at this is we haven't had that turning point yet. We still have a lot of momentum down, but we are on support. The conservative approach would be to wait for this to basically base out kind of like this in here, and then wait for a buy signal like this bullish engulfing there, where you start picking up shares and buying into the strength. That's the lowest risk approach from a trading perspective. You look for the downtrend break, you look for the bullish engulfing, and that would be a low risk entry point. This is the high risk aggressive entry points, buying off the resistance level. So if you're going to do this type of movement down here where we haven't broken that big strong momentum downtrend yet, I would just only sprinkle in a little bit. That's my approach and my opinion. Please don't use it as advice. So looking at some of these other ones, we'll kind of just do the short term. We are getting these full retracements. We did a back test here in Bannerman, and this is a bullish pattern here where we came on down, we opened here, and the momentum is coming back up. So if you were to look at this from the perspective of a one-day time frame, of course it's all, jittered. You've basically broken the downtrend here, and you're sitting on top of the downtrend. That is what that big reversal candlestick looks like, and you've broken the downtrend in the very, very short term. Now, does that mean this is on the 30 minutes? You can see all these bullish engulfing patterns developing on the bottom here. An aggressive person would say, and the downtrend I was looking at was on the very short term here. We also have larger downtrends on longer time frames that we still have to break. That's the one there. And you can back up and you can see this pattern, and I see it all the time where you get these patterns like this, and then they come down, and then usually you get a leg. So this is probably, I think, a good spot to be looking would be Bannerman at this vicinity right where it's at. That would be an aggressive entry point. Again, the conservative approach would wait for the move to move higher and then buy into that strength. And we are seeing a little bit of strength today across the board. Here is Goviax. It's still sitting on top of its pattern. The downtrend line, buyers are coming back in today, not in mass. We still have a lot of momentum, so I think the momentum has to get worked off. Global Atomic, again, right on this support here for Global Atomic. What I did is I took the support through here, all through here, and we're basically on that support level in a channel. And I'm morphing some of these patterns into channels and whatnot because that's what they're playing out as. And we'll have to see if the buyers can come in here and support it right where it's at. Forces Metals, another one that could potentially move all the way back down to its breakout point. That would be hugely good for an entry point if it were to come all the way back here. And I'm hoping that happens. I do already own it, and I'm willing to take that loss to have a good entry point down here on more shares if it were, but we'll see what happens. Pure Point Uranium down 3.24% today. And I know I'm kind of going through this, guys. I'm just trying to show you all of the pertinent data on the stocks here. But that's down there. I'm going to try to blow through some of these. Deep yellow, it's on support with a little wick at the bottom. There's your support line going through. So we are on that bottom line support. Paladin is on that support level. Looking back, this down through here, a couple of hits through here. It's holding at the moment, and we'll have to see if that holds. There's still a lot of momentum to the downside. Sky Harbor finding some support. Can Alaska, That is finding support, even though it had a down day. It still put a wick on the bottom where this big long support line is. Next Gen Energy, right on support, looking across from left to right. It's actually got even more support underneath it. If I could drag this line and draw it down, the big support, and this is tilted downward a little bit. So I would say that the bigger support is maybe through here. So we still have support underneath it. This support is also acting on it, where some buyers are trying to turn this around. Base load, getting some support right where it's at. It's kind of using this as a support level as I drew that line a long time ago. Fission 3.0 coming back, trying to find the support area through here. Again, we kind of came down, came back up, and then now we're heading lower. I think we're getting close to the bottom of this turn. And what I'm looking at is this type of move. You kind of dilly-dally through here, and then you get one last that move. And usually it ends somewhere in this general vicinity right on a support. That is an Elliott wave ABC correction if you want to know. Here's Fission. It is also putting in this nice good wick at the bottom. So that is showing us that there are some buyers out there off this support line, and the support line's in the right place. We've got Kazatomprom getting a little bit more of a sell-off here, heading a little bit lower. Again, look at the big picture view here. We have this kind of pattern. Then this is the corrective phase here. Then usually you get that. That is usually the pattern if you look at it and stare at it quite a bit. That is your corrective phase, and we are almost done with that corrective phase in Kazatomprom. I think it maybe has a little bit longer to go to the downside. And if you want to know what I'm looking at, type in Elliott Wave, ELLIOTTWAVE. That is what I'm using as a reference. And I'm just trying to see these patterns play out, and it could have a little bit more downside in Peninsula Energy. Boss Energy coming to support. And remember, I always see this pattern all over the place. I see it everywhere. And that pattern repeats over and over and over. This is Consolidated Uranium coming back to support. Lotus Resources, a little bit of a buying pressure in the day, even though it was a down day today. Gap lower and was bought back up. Uroy trying to contract. It's finding support across horizontally is where we're trying to find support now, and we'll see if that holds. Still, momentum is to the downside. Encore Energy finding support across these guys here, and we'll see if that support line holds. You got what I need. There we go, right there. Trying to find support going across sideways here, and we'll see if we get it. It's getting a little bit of contraction of the opening and closing price. URG, another one that's trying to find support. It's finding it a little bit. You also have UEC here, and there's a support line going across here that we're basically getting stuck on. Getting a little bit of support. Notice the pattern of this guy that we're seeing. Something on the lines of that, perhaps. LEU contracting on support, putting in a little hammer pattern. Someone was asking me why I like this company. If you want to know, I'll release it on the Finding Value website. So that's where I was doing it, Platinum membership. LTBR, another one that's got that pattern coming through, trying to find support down here. ISO Energy, finding support right on this support level going across. A nice good hammer pattern here. So again, guys, if you're aggressive and you want to partake, this is where I would be adding in the sprinkles. The sprinkles, not heavy loads of dousing. What I mean is sprinkles. And then look for strength. Look for strength. Appia Energy's basically finding support right on that line. This is more of a rare earth. It's been trading more like a rare earth. Again, this is basically almost back to where I was buying it back in the day. So yeah, I like it. Denison Mines, right on support. We've got a support line going across, and hopefully we can find support here. If not, we might have to come back a little bit further for this move. There's your pattern here. You get the, yeah, it's probably close. It's getting there. Blue Sky Uranium, yeah, nice sell-off yesterday, but look, we're trying to find support. There's still momentum behind this. If anything, it's probably going to do, a couple of bit of sideways movements. It's probably going to do something on the lines of one of those types of patterns there. Forum Energy Metals selling off a little bit. if you got a bigger wick at the bottom, we'd see a little bit more, but we're right on support, and we'll see if this support holds. Anfield moving sideways. Laramide getting a little bit of buying pressure. Again, there's lots of support all through this general vicinity in here. Western Uranium, Vanadium, trying to find some support. It's just a sideways day. Again, there's a lot of momentum behind this to the downside. I would not personally jump in front of some of these yet. UEXCF trying at support to hold this support right where it's at. We'll see if it's going to hold on and get back within the support zone. Mega Uranium right at support again. It looks like we've got support right coming through it, and we'll see if it holds. It's okay if you dip below it a little bit and then it comes back above it. There's a lot of momentum here, guys. A lot of momentum. Standard Uranium, the Brave are buying down here, but that's up to you on what you want to do. It depends if you're trying to pick bottoms. And guys, this is a pattern. What I usually see is you kind of come up, you go sideways, you come up. This is like almost like a double top. Go sideways, it comes down, and then you create like a V-shaped pattern that comes back up like that. ALXEF moving sideways to lower. We've got Valor Metals right on support. That's where we're at now. Elevate coming back on almost touching that support line. I like it here for myself. And 92E coming back a little bit. Still above the support line. Everything's looking okay. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Hopefully it gives you a little bit better picture on what's going on in the area. If you guys are interested, sign up to the Finding Value Platinum membership website. I obviously did a little bit more here in this clip, and sometimes the Platinum members, I'm going to be teaching some of the technical training classes. Again, I'm still of a big picture view guy. I don't really like doing the short-term stuff for, the day trading things. I just don't, I haven't been super successful at the day trading type stuff. So what I've done is I've gone longer and longer time frames. I've looked at the big picture view, and it's like, I want to ride this whole bull market. So that's been my approach. And I look for buying opportunities in the short term. That's what I'm using my technical analysis for. I use it for big picture views to see where all the opportunities are. And then I load into those opportunities where I think are the lowest risk opportunities. And some of them are in the rearview mirror for some of these sectors, the lowest risk opportunities. But there's still opportunities in front of us that are low risk, that are really good for the patient investors. If that interests you, sign up to the Platinum membership, definitely. And if you like the content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and you know what? We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.